Hello, good morning, everyone. In Ghana, they say Akwaba, but as a Togolese, which is the sibling nation of Ghana, we also say Miorizo. Thank you so much for being here today. I would like to apologize that we got started late because we had some logistical setbacks, but you have no idea how happy and humbled I feel to be in your presence today and how grateful our team is to see you all here. For many of you, you traveled for hours to join us, and it is really humbling. So I wanted to before we get started properly, set a tone by telling you about how this conference came to be. Initially, it was about myself getting involved into Bitcoin as a necessity at a specific moment when it was critical for my activism in Togo. Then eventually, I got to meet incredible African Bitcoiners, developers that are working on the protocol, African investors, and other investors around the globe that are interested in making this currency accessible to all. And I was invited to speak in Miami a couple of months ago. Then we found out about how a lot of our colleagues in Africa couldn't make it because they couldn't obtain a visa. Then we were like, we should think about bringing the conference here in Africa, and then we welcome everyone to Africa. So I would like to thank you for being in the group of the first people that are welcome to the Africa Bitcoin Conference. As an activist, I receive a very frequent question. How come a political activist fighting to bring down the oldest military dictatorship on the continent starts speaking about Bitcoin? What is the correlation between money and politics? The reality is that money defines politics. And in many countries across the globe, most precisely on our continent, some countries have achieved monetary independence, but others have not. And my country belongs to those groups of nations that are still using a colonial currency called the CFA. But beyond that, we can have a whole session about the CFA and how it is preventing growth. However, a lot of governments have actually weaponized money and resources against their own people, especially under authoritarian settings, where the bank accounts of activists are frozen, where people are charged of crimes simply because they had access to foreign currency, where citizens are not allowed to own any currency but the one imposed by the government, even when they know that currency means nothing and is depreciating every day, where the rich actually manage to manipulate the numbers and get richer, and people wake up one morning to find out that their savings have lost more than 80% of its value. In many countries, money isn't easy to access because of the political system, but also sometimes because of geopolitics. There are nations that have been seeing some forms of political embargoes for money reasons. It's impossible to send money there. However, the citizens of these countries need to live and survive. Then we're on a continent where more than 70% of our citizens don't have access to the banking system, because the banking system was built on a colonial model that doesn't take into consideration some of the aspects of our infrastructural deficit. People can't open bank accounts, why they don't have national IDs, why they don't even have birth certificates. The hurdles are multiples, and all of these are preventing our citizens from accessing financial freedom. So the goal of those of us who initiated this conference is to launch a movement on this continent, a movement that involves freedom fighters, developers, thinkers, who can build solutions that can help our citizens access money freely. We want to have a borderless currency, but more importantly, a currency that reminds us of who we are. We want a currency for humanity. And this is why the African Bitcoin Conference wants to set a tone to become a pioneer of this movement on the continent. A Pan-African movement that is aimed to build growth, but most importantly, to help us dismantle the systems of colonial, political, economic, monetary apartheid. So I'd like to thank you so much once again for coming here today, and I hope you enjoy the sessions, take advantage of this opportunity to make great connections, and we hope to mingle and have fun in the coming days. Thank you.